Let's talk about a special kind of adjective called a possessive adjective. Now, a possessive adjective is an adjective that indicates ownership or possession. So examples in English include my book, your jacket, his pencil, things like that. Now in Spanish, there are two forms of possessive adjective. There's a short form and a long form. In this video, we'll focus on the short form, which are the easiest to understand and also the most common. So, the short form of the possessive adjective is sort of interesting because they don't exactly behave like normal Spanish adjectives. You're used to putting adjectives after their nouns in Spanish. For example, el auto rojo, the red car. Our adjective here comes after the thing it describes. But with our short forms of possessive adjectives, they're actually going to come before the noun, so right in here. And you get rid of the definite article. So, to say my car, you would say mi auto. You don't need the article, and the adjective comes right before the noun it describes. So let's take a look at what all of these possessive adjectives are. We just saw that my is me. Your for tu would be just tu, but no accent. His, her, and your, like the usted form, is su, and you'll have to rely on context to figure out which one of those three it could be. Our is nuestro or nuestra, and we'll talk about the difference between these two in a second. Your plural, so for vosotros, would be vuestro or vuestra. And finally, theirs or yours, as in ustedes, would be su again. Now, there are a few things you need to know about possessive adjectives. First, they agree in number and gender with the noun they describe. And you're probably thinking, well, of course they do. That's what adjectives in Spanish do. But this is a little bit tricky because a lot of people would be tempted if you had a group of all girls, and you were one of them, you were a girl in that group, and you all owned a house together, or a car, excuse me, you all owned a car together, you would be tempted to say nuestra auto for our car. But this is actually incorrect. The adjective here must agree in gender with the thing you possess. So the car, which is masculine. This is a feminine adjective, and it doesn't agree with the masculine noun. So even though it's a group of girls, you would say nuestro auto. Likewise, for a group of boys that own a house together, you would say nuestra casa, not nuestro casa, even though you're all boys. So you see that the adjective must agree with the noun, not necessarily with the group of people owning it. For these ones here, you don't have to worry about gender, but you do have to worry about number. This is why this su trips a lot of people up. People think that because ellos, ellas, and ustedes are plural, this should be plural, even if the thing that they own is not plural. So for example, if you all collectively, so ustedes, if ustedes own a dog, people might say sus perro, because they think that sus refers to they and not to the dog, when in fact this should be singular to agree with the one dog that you own. So su perro can actually mean their dog. So, Let's just quickly run through that and write it out more concisely, and then we'll go through some examples. So we have our possessive pronouns, mi, tu, su, nuestro, nuestra, vuestro, and vuestra, and su again. Now all of these can be plural, so you can have mis, tus, sus, nuestros, nuestras, vuestros, vuestras, and sus. And the important things to remember are that the adjectives come before the noun, and they agree in number and gender with the noun possessed, not necessarily with the people possessing it. Now, of course, you may have a group of girls owning a house, and in that case, the adjective would be nuestra casa. But the nuestra is not dependent on the fact that they're girls. It's dependent on the fact that la casa is a feminine noun. So here are some examples. Our backpack and our is all boys. Then we'll have my shoes and your cat. And your is a married couple, two people in love. Alright, so try to figure these out and then resume the video when you want to see the answers. So over here we have our backpack. First we have to figure out the sort of characteristics of this noun. So we know that backpack is mochila, which is feminine and singular, and that means that we need a feminine singular adjective. For our, that is nuestra. Even though these are all boys, the adjective agrees with the noun, nuestra mochila. For my shoes, we figure out that we have the word zapatos, which is plural and masculine. Our possessive adjective, therefore, must be plural and masculine. My is me, and it doesn't change to reflect gender, so all we have to do is make it plural. Mis zapatos, my shoes. And finally, down here we have your cat. So, cat is gato, and this is masculine and singular. So our married couple here, their possessive adjective would be su. Even though there's two of them, there's only one cat, and the adjective agrees with the thing being possessed. Su gato, their cat. Alright, you should be good to go. The most important thing, and I'm just going to say it again, is that the adjective agrees in number and gender with the noun being possessed, not the people who possess it.